Welcome, everyone. This is Divine Dialogues, Intuitives Unveiled. I am Tracey Bango from Angels on the Prairie.
And I'm Rhonda Sean with Divine Guidance with Rhonda. And we're members of the Angel Empowerment Wellness Center. In our podcast, we're going to be delving into topics such as intuition, angelic connections, and the spiritual realm.
We're also going to talk about our own personal experiences to help you understand your own intuitive abilities. Thanks for joining us.
And let's begin. Hi, everybody. Today we're doing a fun little episode where a common question we get asked is, when should I get a reading? And what is a reading? I usually tell my clients, and basically, I tell my clients one is when they have the urge to get a reading, but also sometimes a lot of my clients, they like to do it seasonally. So they'll do in-depth one kind of around special times of year, their birthdays, year end, anything new. Or in other times, a lot of people will follow the seasons. Is there certain times for your Tracey?
Well, a lot of times it's like they have questions, and it's like they just want confirmation, like they want answer to their questions.
Right.
So that's a big one.
Yeah. So what we thought we would do is in today's episode, I'm going to give Tracey a reading. And then in a future episode, Tracey's going to give me a reading. And the reason why we're doing this is one, to have that shared experience, but also to see how differently and the same that we do it.
And that's exactly.
So we're going to begin. So how we start, or how I start, is what's your name and birth date?
My name is Tracey, and I'm April 9th, 1963.
Okay, so what that does, it gives us permission to talk to our team, because with the angels, we always ask for permission because of free will. They won't interfere unless we ask. All right, so I'm just going to, and then so how I pick the cards is I use my pendulum, and they told me which decks to use, and we're kind of going to go from there. Then some of this stuff will be...
It might be a little bit quieter. It's just she is like shuffling the cards, picking cards.
Yeah. So then I'll kind of go through themes. So I got unlimited ideas, finances, and love relationship, current and new.
Interesting.
So right away, they're bringing me into unlimited ideas. You're kind of going into overwhelm a little bit because you're getting a lot of downloads and you're kind of wondering, what the heck am I going to do with all this? So what they're just saying is kind of do a brain dump. And what they mean by that is, because it's putting into overwhelm, is kind of keeping a little pocketbook or something, or even a phone note, and just record it and then move on with it. As well, they're just saying here, they're giving you the ideas to kind of give you direction of where you need to go. So do you, how are they putting this? Do you ever do kind of vision boards or task boards?
Do I do vision boards? No.
Okay. Do you do task boards? Do you know what a task board is?
No, I don't even know what a task board is.
Okay. So a task board is you take a piece of paper and you divide it into 4 groups. So I usually do mine on like a big bristle board or a poster board, and I do it 4 ways. And then I'll take sticky notes with the ideas that I write down, going, okay, what do I want to complete in 90 days? What is the next 180, 270, and 360? So this is kind of where I do it kind of seasonally. And I'm going, so these are the tasks that I want accomplished in the next 90 days. And this will help with your organizational skills and what to complete, and helps you prioritize what you want to do. And then as you can complete it, you take it that board off or that sticky note off.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and
Interesting.
then
No,
if you
never heard
review
of
it
that.
okay, and then if you review it every 90 days, you then literally move your sticky notes over, and any new ideas that come in, you put it always in the 360 spot.
Oh, in the yearly.
Yeah. And then every 90 days, you're like, okay, what do I, is this still priority? And if not, you're just moving things around. So this helps you get organized and helps you stay on task because, like they said, they're giving you the ideas because of everything that you're going. But sometimes those ideas do put you into overwhelm, going like, oh, I have so much on my plate.
Interesting. Yeah.
Now they're bringing me into your finances. So the reason why they're giving you these new ideas is to opening up your finances aspect of it. So what's interesting here is we need to do some release work actually around money. It's almost you're putting up a block around accepting energy around money. It's because you don't want to push yourself out further than what you think. Right? So you think you want the 100,000, but then you're kind of that 100,000 is perfect. But what's happening is, what am I going to have to do to get that 100,000? And it's like, it's almost like you're putting blocks on it. Yeah, you need to kind of switch your paradigm a little bit that hours don't mean money anymore. It's the work and the value that you bring. So I know, like, you're starting your online classes, like, that's a different revenue system that you don't need to put your time and
I'm
energy
in.
as to the one-on-one. The one-on-one's nice for that connection, but it's the world view is expanding out, right? We still have only a finite amount of time, but with your knowledge and stuff, it can be expanding out. And then you have love, relationship, current, and new. What they're telling me here is you're kind of going into this new phase, and it's almost like a reconnection and rekindling in a way. So they're saying this is enjoy that time, almost go back to your teenager time because because you do have that money time freedom thing a little more than it was, right? Because it's like it just looks differently than when you had kids, and now that they're out, and you're stepping, like you said, you're semi-retired, is you're stepping out where you have a little more time freedom in
Yes.
that. So they're saying this is where you can start, doing those crazy things again, or like going to a movie, or going out even for Sunday drives and having a picnic, or
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
yeah. And then so another card that came out is you're stronger than you give yourself credit for. And they're just saying what's interesting with this is they're saying you need to actually be a little more vulnerable and asking for help when you actually need help. You don't need to do everything on your own. And it's almost like you're trying to prove a point in a way. And they're saying here is like it's okay to ask for help, not so much because you need it, but they're just seeing even time efficiency. Like they're saying like how much time you're wasting on something where you could be like, just give me some direction and help. It's not that you need to necessarily do it, but it's like instead of trying to figure things out and wasting 3 or 4 hours when you can just make that quick phone call, get it done in 5 minutes, and then you're done.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
And then you got raise or promotion. So you kind of went out on to stepping out on a new ledge with your online class. So that's going to just elevate everything where again it's kind of that shift in paradigm where it's like you don't need you like the one-on-one, but it's like it's a little more accessible, right? Like you can talk to somebody in Australia that can take your course, but because of the time difference, the that coordination doesn't always happen. So So by putting your stuff online, it helps you can still teach out there and not necessarily be in person, but they also have a personal connection with you because of how you set up your course. But you don't
Right.
need that like one-on-one thing. And then the last card that they drew for you is change out your energy cords. This to me is just more of a reminder to kind of do that
Mm,
as well when you're changing out your energy cord. The reminder is making sure you're sending love and light to the one that you're changing out your cord with.
absolutely.
And they're saying even for the day, it doesn't always have to be with a person or persons, but they're saying the day.
Absolutely.
Do you typically change out your energy cord after you've been in a little bit of discord or anything?
Well, I do them every night. Like
Okay.
every night I cut my cords for the day.
Okay.
And if I'm having something that's bothering me, do I cut my cords? Absolutely.
In
I
that
cut my
moment in
cords.
time?
Pardon?
In that moment in time?
I just cut them and send love and light. Love and
Okay.
healing, actually.
Right. Okay. So they're just kind of saying sometimes you kind of need to do it throughout the day with it, but it was more of a confirmation than confirmation slash a little reminder
Yeah, and that
around.
could be because I'm an empath to stop
Yeah.
carrying.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's kind of what I'm hearing is sometimes at the end of the day, isn't you're holding on to a little other energy a little too much.
Maybe just cut more often. See, I instead of changing, I like the fact of literally cutting
Cutting.
cords, but that's me.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And then they're just kind of bringing me in. You need to start doing more stuff for fun, things that are bringing you joy. It's like, it's almost looking at stopping the things that no longer serve you and start doing things more joyful and in gratitude. They're saying for yourself also is gratitude lists is they would like you to start doing one physically because they know they're telling me you do it mentally, but they're saying to do it physically. So writing it
Okay.
down in a journal and just they're just saying like push yourself and dream big. Like because they're saying what's kind of like they're showing me like you're a little bit of a paradox in a way. It's just like you want to dream big, you have those dream bigs, but it's like I like my life. I don't really want to change, right?
It's
Because
true.
you're like so they're just saying like they just want to push you out a little more.
Okay.
Right? Now, did you have any questions about the reading or anything? Or
Well, at this point, I, well, I understand it all and I know what they're saying, but, for somebody else that's getting a reading, absolutely you ask questions for clarification. And,
yeah,
sometimes when you see the cards, like Rhonda would pull cards, and if I see them and I'm going, oh, this is what that means, and then she says something different, that's okay.
yeah.
That's okay because you see what you need to see, but we sometimes get deeper.
Yeah. And sometimes too, what I see, okay, I usually call a reading an angel reading a little more different than I'd say a typical psychic reading. I call it a little more interaction. If I'm asking questions, it's like, is there blocks that need to be removed? Is there some healing? Or sometimes it's just like an interpretation. So I trust my signs and symbols that my team's giving me. I'll give you an example. I recently did a reading, and my sign for tumultuous is gravel roads. And one of the cards I drew was breaking generational cycles. So the card made sense in a way that she was a social worker, so she dealt with it. But she said she doesn't understand the gravel road because she actually goes, I had a pretty happy childhood. I grew up. So I'm going, well, they keep sending, and I'm going, did you happen to travel on a gravel road? And she's like, yeah, every day to school. And then I said, well, did you pick rocks and stuff? She goes, yeah, I had like a rock collection. So that's why we do ask those clarifications because, like, my team will give me signs and symbols for certain words or certain things. But then sometimes when it's just not landing, I'll explain, okay, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm hearing, and then we'll like try to flesh it out. So it's not that you're trying to get hoodwinked or like this is where people's skepticism might come in with reading, but that's how come we try to explain what's happening if things aren't going to happen. And there is a thing called psychic amnesia because sometimes something that we're saying could happen like 40 years ago that you're not necessarily going to remember. And I don't know about your experience, Tracy, but often not. I will get like, oh, that did land with me. Or, yes, this happened. So the more they kind of think about it, things will
Well,
happen.
a lot. And it's even after a reading where they're saying, no, that makes no sense. I have no idea who that is. And then after the fact, whether it's a week, a month, even a year, they'll come and say, that I know what that means now. I got it. It happened. And I mean, like we go to our exhibition here and do readings. And we have ones that come back every year. And I had a girl that, like, she was like the exhibition opened and she was right there. Like, she was so excited to tell me that everything that I said was going to happen to her. Like, she said, she fought me. She said, no way, no way. And she came in and she said, everything. Like, my job changed. I became a leader. Like, she says, it was unreal. And then the next one, again, when she left, because it was more on her, and she was mad again because she said, no, 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 that's not gonna, no, that I don't need that. So I'm waiting to see this year what happens because it's so
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah. Well, I know I did a reading for my cousin one time, and I told her she's getting married, and she's like, "Nope, he's proposed to me 4 times." I said no. And I'm like, "Well, okay." Well, 3 months later, she finally said yes. And she goes, "Oh, the time felt right or whatever." But she was bound and determined she was not gonna get married. And sure enough,
It,
she just changed her mind after. So I had to laugh and of course said told you, but that's just
yeah,
normally I don't
told
do
you.
that but because she
Yeah,
was
but it's
family.
family. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing we do is what we call a year in view, which means a reading every month. Now, that can be any time start. It can start January, it can start March, it can start August. It just doesn't matter. Like, it's a great birthday gift, or literally if you want to do January to December to find out what your year is like, you can do that also.
Yeah.
So that's
I usually like to get my year in view reading in like September because I work in a school, so I kind of like to know what my school year is like. But
Yeah, and that makes sense. So there's different reasonings to have a reading.
yeah,
And just because you'd like to try it, because you've never tried it before.
yes. And yeah, I would agree with that. It's just I was a skeptic of readings. I'm not gonna I was always very intrigued by them, but I was like, oh, part of it is because I knew I could do it, but it is nice to know from a lot of my readings are more confirmation readings, just to be like, okay, it's just putting your ego in check a little bit. Okay, is this my ego sometimes? Or
Yep.
is this confirmation that my team is giving? It's not that I self-doubt, but just sometimes, especially if you want something so badly that you're like, okay, is this ego or is this team?
Yeah, well, I mean, so if you've listened through this whole podcast, you know, we're being a little vulnerable. Is that the word? Anyways, here a little bit. I mean, I trust my team is going to be, and you know, when you listen to this and you go, oh, that resonates with me. Because I believe, like, as she was talking, I'm being told this is for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like they have, so if something resonates with you, you listen because they wanted you to hear it also.
Yes, and I don't know how many people have ever gone to group readings before, where a lot of times I might be speaking to just say Tracey, and I will end up getting it. Like it'll resonate with everybody, or
Yeah.
not necessarily everybody, but there is something to known as called the collective or timeless.
Yeah. So if it clicks with you, there's a reason.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks so much, Rhonda, for the reading. Made me a
Thank you.
little, like I said, vulnerable there for a bit, but I
Yeah.
trusted the team. So thanks for listening, everybody, to our podcast, and we'll see you next week.
Take care. Bye. Thank you for listening to Divine Dialogues, Intuitives Unveiled. If you would like to work with Tracey and Rhonda, our information is posted in the show notes.
Now, our new episodes are going to fall on Tuesdays. So if you're interested in receiving a free meditation on connecting to your guardian angels, click that link below to subscribe to the Angel Empowerment Wellness Center newsletter. Thanks for joining us.
Take care, everybody.